Hello, testing 1 2 3. Can you hear me now? Can you see me now? I want to knock this out live. It's been a busy day here at Grass Valley Air Attack Base, Nevada County Airport, where air crews have been fighting the Jones Fire. The Jones Fire right here in Nevada County, threatening Nevada City and portions of Grass Valley. There's the Jones Fire continuing to burn. Started near Jones Bar Road on the Yuba River. We had a round of thunderstorms, weather, and wind blow through today. We think that's what started that fire. It came up out of it got into that Yuba River Canyon country. The winds were fairly calm this morning. It looked like it would be no problem. We'd get our two local S2s, actually they're over here now, our two local S2s, 8-8 and 8-9, on the fire right away, and they did, and they got a retardant line wrapped around that fire early in the morning. They made the small fire small, came back to take their break around noon or so, and the damn winds piped up. Strong northwesterly winds. The fire blew through the retardant line by around 1 or 2 o'clock, came up out of the river canyon. This is the scary scenario locally here, where it comes piping up out of the river canyon, tops the ridge, and starts heading for downtown Nevada City and or Grass Valley, which it did. Now, we learned a lot of important lessons today. Well, first let me show you what we did for the air show. Resources here in California are stretched. They're stretched to the limit. We've had lightning strikes all up and down through the states. We've got numerous fires running up and down the states, and so we're limited on the resources. So we got our two local tankers, 8-8 and 8-9, and then very fortunately, the first time in 47 years, we had single engine air tankers operating out of Grass Valley Airport, Nevada County Air Attack Base. That's a story into itself. Here's the short end of that story. This is a CAL FIRE fire. These are CAL FIRE aircraft. That's the California State Firefighting Aircraft. CAL FIRE does not contract out to single engine air tankers. Why? Because of some arcane contract language back in 1973, when we lost so many of the TBM Avenger air tankers, single engine air tankers. They wrote them out of the contract, and they've been out ever since. The other states and all the other states across the country and the feds use single engine air tankers. So these single engine air tankers are based over the state line at Stead Airport and are on BLM contracts. Now, 47 years now. And so what CAL FIRE will do, like all fire agencies will do, is they'll use the nearest available resource. Fortunately, these two seats just happened to land here at our airbase yesterday after they wrapped up with the Loyalton fire. So in the morning when this fire broke out locally, these guys were available to join the fight. So all day long, these two single engine air tankers and our two S2Ts fought that fire. And they just put up a hell of a fight, but they lost it at noon and have been fighting it all the way now till sunset. Joining the fight was two more S2Ts. So at one point we had a total of 7 fixed-wing air tankers and a couple of helicopters. I don't know if the heavy air tankers, the VLATs out of McClellan, were able to join the fight. I saw in the afternoon they had to fly over our fire to fight other fires throughout the state. So we were right at the raggedy end of resources here at Nevada County. Now, important lessons learned about fires in your local area. Once again, we had a complete breakdown and failure of emergency services and notification and communication. Nobody was able to get enough information from anybody in any official stature as to what the hell was going on with evacuations around here. The Office of Emergency Services got on the radio and told everybody to go look at their website with their new high-tech mapping system and find out if you are affected by an evacuation, if you need to get out of here. Well, as soon as those winds piped up, I started jumping on the local radio and suggesting folks might want to consider getting out of the way of this fire. Do not wait around and rely on anybody from the government, as the lesson that we learned from the Paradise Fire, when things get going so hot and so heavy. Now, this wasn't nearly as hot or heavy as the Paradise Fire, that you got to take care of yourself, and you got to take care of yourself first. You got to use your own wits. The OES website regarding evacuations just completely broke down. It was completely overwhelmed by the number of traffic, and that was only after a couple of thousand hits on the mapping software. So I was able to provide some updates from up here as I could hear things going on the scanner with the tankers and help people make a decision as to what to do. And to this hour, we have no idea how big the fire is or where it is, or unless you're in the fire. They said it was 50 acres from about 12 noon till about 5 p.m. We could never get any straight information about where or how big this fire is or was, and we're afraid that it's still burning pretty good tonight. We hope that the tankers got an effective line of retardant around the fire tonight so the ground crews can work all night long and get a containment line, a proper containment line around the fire. But the winds haven't died down. They're still blowing 10 knots or so up here, where they should be dying down by now and heading the other direction. So lots of the same old lessons learned. A lot of guys just got up and got out of there on their own and were successful of it. Yeah, that aircraft right there is the OV-10 Bronco. That's our local Air Attack 230. He timed out today. We had to get another Air Attack to take over for him. Our two local air tankers, 88 and 89, timed out today. It's 7 hours. They get 7 hours of actual flying time per day, and then they're timed out and they're grounded. They turn into a pumpkin. That means the pilot and his airplane is grounded. There's not like another bunch of reserve pilots to jump in that airplane and keep flying. Fortunately, we were able to grab a couple other S2T assets that weren't quite timed out, but they did have to time their day such that they could return back to home base. That's another problem with the COVID thing, is people want to get back to their home base to keep their units separated or segregated. I can't get to the air tanker base and talk to anybody. Again, information is just missing completely. I could get a lot more information if I normally could just walk up to the tanker base and talk to some folks, but you can't. They won't let you on the base because they can't get sick, and so they don't want anybody else out there on their tanker base during this whole COVID situation. So all in all, F- to OES and the information that they were unable to get out to the people to help with evacuations today. It just took people on the ground with accurate information to get information to local radio sources, because people are busy packing, they're getting out of the way, they don't have time to surf around, goof around on the internet and wait for instructions. It's either going to be the police in the area knocking on your door, yelling at you to get out of there, or something you can hear on the radio while you're packing your bags and getting out of there. So that's my rant for tonight on the situation here. I'm looking at the comments here on the Jones fire here in Nevada County, which seriously threatened Nevada City and Grass Valley. We don't know how big it is, how many structures. We have no information yet. Again, CAL FIRE can't even get their arms wrapped around the mapping situation and get that released probably until sometime tomorrow. So this was day one, initial attack, chaos, mayhem. Day two, tomorrow, will be extended attack. It'll be a whole different strategy, but again, we'll have limited resources. We've got enough fuel on the airport here to get us through the day tomorrow, with another fuel shipment coming at, in the afternoon. So everything's got to keep working perfectly here. Hoping for those winds to die down. All right, thanks so much for watching. That's the update from Grass Valley Air Attack Base and the Jones fire threatening the local community here at Nevada County. We're all hanging out here at the airport tonight. We'll have a big post debrief hangar libation over at the neighbors. See you here. Pete, where's the off button?